Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about antiderivative. Yay! So it's second half of the calculus. First half was we talk about derivative, equation tangent line. I'm missing one section, by the way. I need to go back to cover that section. I want to cover that right before the break. Also, you guys will have a midterm next week. Yep, it's gonna be 100 minutes. You will have a lot of time to do multiple choice question. It will be curved like AP exam, and also they are multiple choice. So yes, you can guess. Please do guess. Try your luck. They are multiple choice. I'm not grading FRQ. I hate FRQs. So next week. Okay. I don't know. It depends. I know next week exam day is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All right. So since that, we're gonna talk about antiderivative. So we're gonna start what is derivative. A lot of time on AP exam, I think I can coach people to get a 5, get a 3 on AP exam without knowing too much math. First of all, you have to understand the concept. Okay, if you understand the concept, you don't have to know how to do arithmetic. But the concept is this: the derivative is what's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway on derivative? What's the one thing that you know that derivative is? Slope. Thank you. So it's 5-letter words, right? Slope, right? Slope of tangent, probably, right? Or rate of change. But the biggest thing is the slope. If you find the derivative, you find the slope of the functions. Then you say, okay, well, that's derivative. What does antiderivative mean? So antiderivative. So a lot of times that we don't call it antiderivative, we call it integrations. And it's actually called an indefinite integration. So indefinite integrations. So we call it indefinite integration or indefinite integrals. A lot of time we don't say antiderivative. But the idea of indefinite integrations is to find out what is the original function, which is, we call it general solutions. Okay, so we're going to talk about in a second what is general solutions. Another thing that you had to pay attention to is they are definite integrals. So what is indefinite versus definite, right? Definite integral. The definite integral is basically area under the curve. Instead of finding the function, you find the area under the curve. Right? Are we okay here so far? Okay. So what if I told you that there is a f prime of x is equal to 2? And we say, hey, can you find out f of x? Can you tell me what the f of x is?
2x.
Why?
Because, like, if you use the chain rule, then, like, you would get 2x, like, the derivative of 2x is 2.
Okay, well, not chain rule, but yeah, it's a power rule.
Oh,
Okay. Or constant multiple rule. So if I that means f of x is equal to 2x. But there's a slight problem that he's half right. Yes.
Any constants that are in it can actually be able to be determined.
Any constant, what does that mean?
So you can have 2x plus 7 or 10 or minus something. You need to be able to tell.
You won't be able to tell, right? You had 2x plus 5. If you take a derivative of 2x plus 5, it's still 2. Derivative of 2x plus 10 is still 2. Because the constant is 0. Does that make sense? So technically it's 2x plus c. Because that c, if I take a derivative of the c, is still going to go away completely. So we call it this a general solutions. Okay, general solutions. General solution is going to be 2x plus c because it general is talk about, as opposed of the other type of solutions called particular solutions. Particular solution is you find a value of c, right? So let me repeat it again. If you take a derivative of 2x plus 5 versus 2x plus 2, take a derivative of 2x minus 6, they're all equal to 2. So your original function, it can have a vertical shift of up and down. So the 2x is a straight line, has slope of 2, can literally float up and down. They all represent exactly the same thing. So a lot of times that you ask me, I think Katie asked me before, how do I graph f of x if I just have f prime of x before? I think you asked me that, or somebody else did. Probably don't remember before Thanksgiving. You were smarter back then, and you kind of become dumber after Thanksgiving. Sorry, that was just kind of joke. But yeah, so that was a very good question. That was a very good question that you have what is the original function is. But the problem is you can't really graph it because you have this plus c situation. We don't know what a plus c is unless we have some type of initial condition, which is we're going to talk about later. But right now we don't have anything to do with it. Okay. So also we're going to talk about definition of antiderivative. We're going to talk about this first. So general solution, key thing. Integration of big F prime of x is equal to f of x plus c. Kind of makes sense. What happens if you take a derivative of f of x? Well, it's going to give you f prime of x, right? But we capitalize that. We capitalize the big F here. But I will tell you that on the book, they also talk about something else. They say, on the book, this is definition of antiderivative. So definition of antiderivative. So they say a function f, the big F, is antiderivative